KD Beats. KD Beats.
Beats Planet.
Welcome back. This is Voch Lombardi, and I'm about to cuss Twister King out of his draft takes. My goodness. My goodness. Let me just prepare everyone for what this is and the things to come. I just want to keep y'all well informed on what this is now. It is the off season. But Voch, how is it the off season? They got to play the Super Bowl next week.
Stop the cap.
It's fucking off season. It's the off season for us. So this is draft season, right? So draft season is going to operate a little different than Cowboy season. Cowboy season, we have Cowboy content all up and down the week because it is indeed Cowboy season. But in draft season, we're going to do things a little bit differently, but we'll still have our Cowboy talk. So Cowboy days will be Monday and Wednesday. And there will be Cowboy draft talk on Mondays and Wednesdays. But you know, in draft season, I belong to the whole streets there. So we're going to have our dedicated draft talks for Tuesday and Thursday. And look, you know, if you a Jets fan or something like that, you can gain something from Cowboy draft talk on Monday and Wednesday. You know, if you show up, then, you know, Cowboys this year, You know what I mean? We'll be talking about wide receivers, offensive linemen. We're going to talk about corners. I'm sure that some Cowboy fans would want to talk about developmental quarterbacks and things of that nature. So you can surely learn something even on the Cowboy days, the Cowboy draft days. But, in case you're Nick Gashler in there, I see you over there. The, Broncos fan, in case you're a Jaguars fan, Jets fan, Browns fan, we will be doing strictly draft talk Tuesday and Thursday. And it's going to happen fast too, because I didn't even know Senior Bowl stuff was going on today. We had guys hit us up and tell me, yo, Voch, did you know Senior Bowl was going on? I was like, today.
Yeah, next week.
And yeah, man, they measure and they doing all the Senior Bowl work right now. So of course we'll be giving you content on that. We'll be giving you some fantasticness. And today, it's kind of hard to start draft season. Like, draft season is weird. If you were tuned into me and Jeff's work, Scoutcast, shouts out to my bro Jeff Kavanaugh there. We just kind of watched 10 receivers and just jump right into wide receiver talk. You know what I mean? But somebody in the chat gonna be like, well, but Voch, can you tell me about the second corner? No, I'm not one of these maniacs that have 100 prospects memorized in October. My team was winning. I can't vouch for the rest of y'all, but when my team winning, I don't watch draft prospects at all. So and I think it's better that way for this, right? Because we do content different. You show up to some publication, to some Twitter page, and some of those dudes, they know all the names. They know at least one talking point about those names, but they end up wrong because they tried to grind the work too fast, right? I think there's something dope about when you come to Voch and be like, Voch, this is the 5th best player in the draft. We're not even down in the rounds yet. This is just the 5th best player in the draft, Voch. What you think of him? And I think it's dope when I can look at you in the camera with confidence and be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. I have no clue who that character is or what school he went to. But what I can promise you is by the time we get to April and I've memorized my 220 or so prospects, I'm trying to get to 250, that I'm going to definitely have a good answer for you. I'm going to be point guarded by my guy, Will Steele. And Will Steele ain't even super draft guy for real, but he gonna know these names though. By the time you get to draft season, Will just gonna know way more people than he ever have. I mean, it's gonna be round 7. He'll be like, you know what? I may not have seen the film, but I've heard this fucking name before. What's good, Will Steele?
What's good, brother?
I am Smack Talker Skywalker, and I got a mic saber for a hater.
I'm sorry, man. I just absolutely love that intro from Enzo Amare. What's happening, player?
Who that is? I thought you were about to say Captain Save Captain Slap him or something. I didn't know what you were about to say. I don't know who that is.
He used to be a superstar in the WWE. He ain't there no more though.
Listen, man. The Royal Rumble happened this weekend. This will be short. The Royal Rumble happened this weekend, and you wrestling guy, yeah. And I know enough about wrestling to talk to you about the old days. But somebody tagged us about some dude that's in the yo, Voch and Will. Did you see old boy? Will liked it, and I'm just like, I don't know who this is.
I don't know why he tagged you.
I don't know why you tagged me, dog. I don't even know who to Google. I don't even know where to start to get here, but it is what it is. Appreciate you, Will, still for being here with me as we start this draft journey out. Look at Will still with the graphic, man. Got the two little. Shouts out to Brumley, man. Brumley, look, Brum was looking. Let me wait till Will say something. Wait till Will still say something. Better see that camera pull it up. Let's get to it, man.
You a goofball, man.
What I wanted to do to get started, right? I wanted to, first of all, establish myself within the draft order. That's the first thing that we got to do in draft season. Figure out who's going to be drafting where, so that we can have some kind of a starting point for where these guys are, going to go. Then I wanted to go down the list and just kind of think about who I know. I may not have watched film on these guys like the super nuance of it, but if you stay tuned, I'm going to watch those films. We're going to know everything about those guys. Actually, if you follow me on my Patreon, patreon.com/Voch Lombardi, you can hang with me on the way to this goal that we call the end of April. And we watched Jalen Carter today. So as we watching Jalen Carter, D tackle from Georgia, people kind of hopped in the chat and they were just asking me questions, right? Some of y'all that may not be super draft fans or you may not be familiar with Jalen Carter. Let me just run some of the questions that they asked, and I'm just gonna give you my answer to them. Voch, Jalen Carter or Derrick Brown? Stop playing with me, Derrick Carter. Derrick Brown ain't good enough to hang with Carter. Voch, Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter? Bro, stop playing with me, because when me and Jeff was watching film on I just said his name.
Jordan
Devontae
Davis.
Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis, right? We were watching them last year, and we was like, bro, I mean, these dudes is cool. Like these first round picks, Wyatt and them, like they cool, but there's this other dude, number 88, that's better than them. Like, where's he coming out? Like, what's his draft situation? And people telling me, oh, Voch, he's not coming out this year. He's coming out next year. But Voch, now that we're here in 2023, tell me what you think about Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt versus Jalen Carter. And Jalen Carter is those dudes for, like, he's better than those dudes for a reason. I look at dudes like Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis as like role player type dudes, right? Like I can take this one tech in Jordan Davis and I can build my three techs around him. I can build my linebackers around him, right? Because he's a role player for them. Jalen Carter is a dude that you start your defense with. You know what I mean? Like the Rams will go take an Aiden Hutchinson guy. You know what I mean? Or like the Browns will take like a Myles Garrett guy. So you walk into the door with your dry board clean. You got Jalen Carter. You go, all right, bro. Fuck, we got Jalen Carter. Let me go ahead, Will Steele. We got some breaking news. What you got for me, sir?
I would never do this to you if it wasn't significant.
Please.
The Saints and Broncos are finalizing compensation to send Sean Payton to the Broncos to become the next head coach. Huh. Interesting. Sean Payton back in the NFL. That is definitely going to be big moving forward. And I know the Broncos gave up their first round pick, so they won't even have one. So that'll be interesting to see what they do. But Sean Payton back in the NFL, fellas and ladies, and he will not be a Cowboys coach for quite some time. So there you have it. Just wanted to drop that on you.
That's huge. That's huge. So Sean Payton. So they did send the first round pick to Sean Payton?
The compensation is not out yet. The Broncos don't have a first round pick, so it can't be this year's first round pick. But the compensation, once it's dropped, I'll let you know.
All right, so let's change the title just a little bit. And let's just get some word on this. Let's go to live.
It's very fresh.
We're gonna talk. It's very fresh. We're gonna do this. Let's see, draft order breakdown. We're going to get rid of team needs. We'll leave quarterbacks out there for the algorithm. Reaction.
So Seattle has Denver's pick.
They do for the Russell Wilson thing.
Mm-hmm.
Reaction to Sean Payton traded to Broncos, and this does affect the draft some kind of way. somehow we gonna find a way to make this shit make sense. So we actually ain't even about to talk about these quarterbacks. We just gonna go ahead and get these quarterbacks all the way up out of there. This is huge, right? Because if we know anything about the Broncos defense is stout right now. And it's so crazy how we talk about how good a defense can be, but if the offense is trash, it makes the job for the defense harder, right? No matter how bad the Broncos were, that defense was still fantastic, regardless of how bad, Russell was for the offense. So then you take this character in Sean Payton and you go, I've won games with fucking Taysom Hill at quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've won games with Jameis Winston at quarterback. To be fair, Sean Payton really, them dudes ain't even have a quarterback. Like when Drew Brees got hurt, he went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. You know what I mean? So basically, in our mind, we got to go, all right, Sean Payton, you take that and you inject that into a Broncos situation, and then you go, well, damn, if you can keep that defense in the way that it was, and you elevate that offense, I ain't saying the Broncos are gonna turn into an instant contender. Because I still think Russell Wilson bad.
I'm about to say, why not? The defense is really damn good, but if you think Russell Wilson's really bad, then the question becomes, can Sean get Russell Wilson back on track? I think he can.
Yes. And that's the key, because it just goes right back to what I said earlier, right? Like, damn, bro, like, you won games with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. So, of course, you should be able to win games with Russell Wilson. Also, too, there was this one thing that I hated about what the Broncos did offensively this year was they didn't lean on the best player on their team, which was Javonte Williams. And I drafted Javonte Williams in fantasy, and I was like, oh, boy, we about to eat with some damn Javonte Williams this week. But they just kept giving the ball to Melvin Gordon, right? Similar to the Cowboys and their Zeke and Tony Pollard situation, right? I'm not going to bring it up because this ain't even Cowboy day. But I'm just like, bro, like every time you run the ball with Javonte Williams, good things happen to you, right? But we just saw them kept insisting to get Boone involved, insisting to get Gordon involved. And then fucking Javonte Williams get hurt. They release Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
Fella. like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Help me. So in my mind, if you are, they said which picks now. So we'll still
I'm still
I think
updating.
they said
Yeah,
appreciate you, my guy.
Gotcha.
So if just what that means to me, just if I can give you a off the top, just idea, I think Sean Payton, who's always run the football no matter what, like he's run the football, he's passed the football, he's thrown the football off of the run, then you can count on them using Javonte, assume that he gets healthy, and then we'll see Jerry Jeudy and Cam Sutton and those dudes get involved. That's interesting, Will. Still, that's interesting.
So this is weird.
Let's do it.
Adam Schefter's reporting Denver's 2023 first round pick and next year's second round pick and Sean Payton in the Saints 2024. I don't recall Denver having a first round pick this year.
Well, let's go look it up. Let me
Am I
pull up
tripping?
Tankathon. Let's see.
How is that even correct?
Oh, okay. So Denver got a pick from San Francisco at 30.
Oh.
When the fuck they get that pick? Who did Denver get from San Francisco to get 30? Nick. Nick, phones are lit.
Oh, that's right. When they traded Chubb to Miami, Miami sent them San Fran's pick.
Damn, how we get here?
Yeah, so that's we went all the way around the horn, right? Okay. So they get pick 30. So actually, Tankathon is not going to be updated correctly. Just yet. So the Saints will be sitting at 30, which honestly, they get back in the first round.
They get back into the first round
because they
gave their
Philly
pick up the Eagles' 10th overall pick. Yes,
correct.
Right.
And Denver will also get the 2024. Oh wait, Denver's 2024 first round pick, and it's 2023. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna read it all together. Denver's 2023 first round pick and next year's second round pick for Payton and the Saints 2024 third round pick.
I don't know if I like that for Denver though. Well, still. Let me just ask you this: This ain't Cowboy Day, right?
Right.
But if the Cowboys were looking for a head coach, would you give up your first this year and second next year, but you get a third next year to get Sean Payton?
Knowing how Cowboys operate, there's no way you could give up this.
Yeah,
they rely entirely too much on the draft.
Yeah.
Too much on the draft. I don't know Denver's cap situation, but I'd imagine Sean Payton can't wait to fuck it up. But no, I know
he can't wait to spend that money. Oh, he can't wait to go on a spree and just spend all that little shit up. You ain't lying, Will.
Okay, so Adam deleted that tweet. So it didn't sound right. So let's see if he run this thing back. It was a very weird tweet. Obviously, the first round pick is right. Here we go. He deleted the tweet and reran it. Compensation: Denver's 2023 first round pick and next year's second round pick for Sean Payton and the 2024 third. I'll bring it up so you guys can see it. He had another line there that didn't make any sense. So here we go.
Don't forget to put yourself on screen while you talk about this.
Stop.
Go ahead.
You know what?
For the company, baby. For the shorts. For the company. But sure. All before the stream today, we are reacting to the breaking Sean Payton news. Okay, we're still talking about draft, y'all. Y'all hang tight. But shit, this is breaking news, and this does involve draft picks.
I mean, it got draft picks, yeah. So the Saints are back in the first round.
The Saints are back in the first round. And it's interesting because we talked about while Will is working on that. Last year when Philly made the trade with the Saints, right? Philly moved away from picks just to have the Saints pick next year. And I was like, man, why is Philly trading away from all this goodness at the top of this draft, right? Just to have a pick for next year, because in my mind, maybe the Saints were moving up to go get a quarterback or something. the Saints did not move up to get a quarterback. That was hilarious. But the Eagles, it ended up being smart for them because they've built this team through free agency and draft for the most part. Some more free agency than draft. But now the Eagles have the Saints pick at 10th overall. So if you're the Saints and you going, all right, man, like we need to build this team somehow. And I would imagine that the Saints would need to try to get a quarterback at some point.
I was thinking that, bro. Like, can you do that though at 30?
Not at 30, but you at least need one first round pick to even get the conversation going.
Yeah,
So now
more than that.
For sure. So now if you the Saints, you can at least go, okay, I'll give you 30 this year, my first next year, and like a something to move up to go get a quarterback. So
look,
if the pieces are falling for the Saints in that way, that makes a little bit of sense. Go ahead.
Does New Orleans holler at Philly? How funny would that be?
Get my pick back?
Yeah.
Get my pick back. I mean,
but Philly at 10 though. Is that out of the range? I mean, I know you ain't studied the cues.
The quarterbacks at the top of the draft, I'm relatively familiar with the guys. So at the top you got Bryce Young from Alabama, in which I got my questions. I'm not, and listen, chat, everything that I say now, it's January. I can change my mind between now and April, so hang tight. Bryce Young is at the top. CJ Stroud is at the top. I think people are going to probably feel the best about CJ. Bryce, people are going to have questions about like his general size and arm talent or whatever, but whatever. Will Levis, who's the Josh Allen starter kid, and every time you get this trend of player, everybody goes, well, who's the next this, who's the next that? Well, Will Levis is the next big arm, gunslingery, big body guy from Kentucky. So he'll be in the top. I think he's like a top 10 pick or something like that. But then there's this, and really the last guy that we could talk about, because the rest of the guys I don't really have that much faith in, just from having general college football knowledge. But then it's Anthony Richardson from Florida. He's the last little wild card in this. And the thing about Anthony Richardson, Will Steele, is we know that all these quarterbacks pretty much matter based on what's going to matter is where they go, what system they go to, what coordinators and coaches they end up with. Anthony Richardson throwing the football just looks terrible. Like the look of him throwing the football looks terrible, right? But Anthony Richardson may be the only quarterback in the draft that can throw a 70-yard pass from the left hash to the back right pylon perfectly. He don't know that he can do it, right? Like he don't know how he do it, but he'll close his eyes, he'll throw it, and it'll get there. He's natural talent guy. Plus he has the size and he has the athletic profile of like a Cam Newton type dude, right? But he's gonna get the technical things wrong. So he may not be a polished product now, but we see every single year like polished products just end up getting it right depending on how your offense is run. So Anthony Richardson is the wild card, Will, still, because he can go anywhere between. I think some team, if they like him, they'll take him top 10 because he's a quarterback, but he's also a dude that's so polarizing that he could be like a third-round pick guy if you look at him just on, quarterback.
And I'm more so looking at teams in the top 10 as opposed to the actual quarterbacks. When I say have you studied the quarterbacks, I mean like, is there enough for one to drop to 10 if they were looking at Philly? Because I'm looking at teams that have no problem moving out. I think Philly would have no problem moving out, and obviously F them picks the Rams. Actually, it went to Detroit. Never mind, that would be Detroit. But hell, Detroit could Detroit say, "Listen, we cool with Jared Goff," and try to get multiple first round picks and get on that kind of Philly bandwagon where we got multiple first round picks every year type of situation, or do they just stay there and just add young talent? So teams like Detroit, who has a quarterback, Philly, they got a quarterback.
So let's do it. Let's go from one one to bottom,
okay.
and then after this we'll hop into the phones.
Yeah.
And you can just put yourself on the screen so we can see you. Let's take a third up. Let's see. So the Bears, right? They're probably not going to be drafting quarterback at all. They're going to be taking the best player available. It's probably going to be a guy on defense, Jalen Carter, or it's going to be Will Anderson. Likely Will Anderson, but Voch is a Jalen Carter's better than Will Anderson guy. And I would love to know, chat, how many people in the chat are Jalen Carter are better than Will Anderson guys? I would love to know what you guys, where you guys fall into this. But the Bears aren't going to be getting quarterback at all. Houston is probably most definitely going to be a team that gets quarterback.
Correct.
They're not rolling with buddy over there. And look, man, some people try to vouch for him, man, for the guy in Houston. I can't even remember his fucking name, but
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills, but they'll vouch for Davis. Yo, Voch, Davis Mills better than you think, man. That ain't stopping you from drafting a franchise guy.
Stop.
Fuck off. Get out of here. Arizona's interesting, Will, still.
No,
because I don't think they like Kyler. I don't think I generally feel like they felt like they were forced to give him money. And I think all those contract budgets, they paid him money. But they paid old boy that just went to Cleveland. He fresh off a contract. Houston got his money, traded. Like he was like, I want out of here.
Got his money in Cleveland. Now I'm not saying I don't know what the implications would be, but I didn't even think about it. Arizona could also be another team to get up out of there, but they need talent, so I don't think they would do that. That's pretty damn high, and it probably cost you a fortune to go from 30 to 3. I'm more, thinking maybe 10, but maybe this new coach comes in and say, I don't like Kyler Murray.
I don't know. Did we just get some new news? Did we just get some more news?
Let me check it out.
Some more coaching news. Appreciate you. Let me know. I just see the chat. And look, I think Arizona has a franchise quarterback, so in my mind, I don't think they're gonna move away from him. But hey, man, Call of Duty come out every year, motherfucker. I don't know they're gonna be fucking with him. Indy's definitely in the quarterback market. So,
yes. D'Amico Ryans finalized.
D'Amico Ryans to where?
Houston.
D'Amico, why he go there, man? At all places.
Well, because he's gonna get a franchise quarterback, and he's actually played in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that whole situation. And I personally think his defense can travel. So here's that.
Assuming that he can turn that defense into,
right,
into what he had in San Fran. I mean, yes, he's a great coach, but you also need some dudes. So it's gonna take him a minute. 49ers just got a little worse, so that's good. Let's see. And look, this is another conversation that I wanted to have, right?
Okay.
And this can apply to every fan, but I specifically want to just talk to Cowboy fans real fast, right? Everybody want to trade trade picks away. We always talk about this, right? Oh, I want to trade my pick away to get an XYZ. Sometimes if you just hang around, and I don't even think that the Cowboys will, be this bad, but I'm just talking about just if you're a team and if you think you bad or you think you could be bad, it might just be better to hold on to your picks, man. Because if you are Denver and you had the 5th overall pick and you go, right, we need Russell. Like, we need Russell Wilson. I'm going to give up all my picks for Russell Wilson. In real life, you could just keep your damn picks and just draft the quarterback at 5th overall. You know what I'm saying? Instead of dealing with the whole Russell Wilson situation.
Yeah, they didn't fathom they'd be the 5th worst team, though. And let me use a Voch Lombardiism. In their mind, they figured that pick was going to be in the late 20s or something. You know what I mean? And hell, if their offense was good, it might be in the 30s because their defense was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, they dropped the ball. They missed that one big time. Like, they missed on that one big time.
You know what, Will? Still, the more we just do this show, the more I just want to be a little bougie. I would love to have a headset that goes to Paul Brumley and Christian, so that they can talk in my ear and I can let them know. Sean Payton, thumbnail. You know what I mean? And just change the thumbnails and the title shit. Voch, you guys gonna talk about D'Amico Ryans? Yeah, we're talking about it a little bit. We're back on track. I would love to just get bougie enough to have a headset when we get our studio. You know what I mean? Whenever we get out, I would love to have it. And I can say the same thing for the Rams, though, Will. See, I mean, the Rams are like F them picks. What was this pick for? This was for Stafford. So the Rams,
that worked out for them.
Overall, bro.
It worked out.
They got a Super Bowl. Yeah. They got a Super Bowl. God damn, boy.
No, ain't no goddamn. I would 100% love to be in the Rams situation.
I got you, bro. But instead of the Rams, the Lions are going to be sitting at 6 overall. And I think that's interesting because, like you said earlier, I mean, do you lean on Jared Goff? Is Jared Goff going to be a guy that you continue to roll with? I mean, this offense isn't top tier because of Jared Goff. You know what I mean? Like, Jared's a good quarterback, and he's a piece that's moving things around. But if you have an opportunity to get a quarterback that you think is a franchise guy, do you spend your pick, your sixth overall pick on quarterback, or do you just try to take the best dude that's there and just move on with your life? Because the Broncos offense is fine, but if you need defense and Jalen Carter's there, you having a goddamn party.
Lions fans, are there any Lions fans in this chat? I would love to hear what y'all got to say, because I'd imagine y'all guys have got to be conflicted, because Jared Goff had a good year. Ben Johnson, I use Ben Johnson, Jared Goff all the time, because I think Ben Johnson helped elevate Jared Goff. Excuse me. Helped elevate those weapons. It looked like you can be a productive, quality offense, really good one, top 5, right? Offense with Jared Goff. Do you believe a Will Levis is a franchise guy? Do you believe the Richardsons of the world? You're not getting the Bryce Young probably, or the other cat from Ohio State. You're probably not going to get those two, right?
If you can promise me Trevor Lawrence, if you could promise me like Pat Mahomes, if you can promise me one of them dudes or something like that, then yeah, I would replace Jared Goff. But what if you in this position, but you end up with a Zach Wilson or something?
I know. And that's the thing about this. Like, we often say, well, we need to get, when I say we, I mean the NFL, we got to get a Pat Mahomes and the top quarterback, the Joe Burrows. But there's way more Ryan Tannehills and what's the cat from Washington that came out? Jake Lockers. And there's a
Mac Jones. There's a lot of Mac Joneses out here.
Way more of those. I mean, way more.
Yeah. Vegas just pushed Jared Goff off the bridge, so I would imagine
Derek Carr?
I mean, not Jared Goff, Derek Carr. Yes, they just pushed him off the bridge, and I don't think they're moving forward with Stidham. So in my mind, that's a quarterback destination.
Yes,
Atlanta's interesting because there are many Falcons fans that were interested in Desmond Ridder just to kind of see like how he was going to be.
The Riddler.
And when they had opportunities to play Desmond Ridder, they played Mariota. So now you don't know what you have in Desmond Ridder, but you also have the 8th overall pick. So if you're the Falcons, do you project what Desmond Ridder could be based on where, you drafted him last year? Or if you have a guy, we're talking about Richardson, we're talking about Levis at this point, because there's no way Stroud makes it this far. I do think Bryce Young can make it to 8, but we'll talk about that later. If you're the Falcons, do you go away from Ridder not knowing what he is really because you played Mariota all year? Or do you go for one of these guys because you think grass is green? This is going to be interesting for all these teams. Go ahead, Will.
On the he's not a guy to me that I walk away from, a guy I believe can be a franchise.
Sure.
Obviously, he's young. He hadn't showed it. Like I can, if I wanted to use Goff, I can say, well, Goff did lead the team to a Super Bowl. Goff has put up. I mean, to be honest, he's had a good career. To be completely honest. You could sell me on that. You ain't selling me on no Desmond Ridder. If I get my guy to fall to me, you can't sell me on that one.
So basically where we're basically at the 9th overall pick right now, Carolina. And I see a lot of teams that's not giving up their picks to the Saints for them to go get quarterbacks, right? That's basically what we're doing right here. So it's a lot of people that came in over the past couple of minutes or whatever. First of all, we appreciate y'all for being here. We talked about the breaking Sean Payton news, and what we got from that to make it draft related was that the Saints actually have a 1st round pick now, but they still got Taysom Hill, tight end quarterback, Andy Dalton, and Jameis Winston. And look, to be fair, they could just move on with, Jameis Winston and them, but we're looking at the top of Tankathon to see if there's any teams that don't need quarterbacks that can trade their pick out for the Saints to move up. And we're just evaluating, where these guys are. And we're going to get into short player talk for a little bit. Then we're going to open up the phones and hear from y'all. So appreciate y'all for being here. Who we just said, we're at Carolina. They're definitely in the quarterback market for sure.
Yes.
100%. But so what it's looking like is there's more quarterback needy teams than damn quarterbacks.
Right.
And the Eagles definitely not drafting quarterbacks. So here's what I offer. Here's what I offer, Will Steele. How many teams are gonna try to get to the 1st overall pick because Chicago don't need quarterback? How many teams are gonna try to get to 3rd overall pick? Arizona don't need it. If you the Lions and somebody offer you a king's ransom for 6th overall, you might just live with Jared Goff for another year. If you get your king's ransom that you're looking for.
100%, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody could try to move up to 6, but dog, 2, 4. I just skipped right over Seattle. Y'all.
Oh,
so Seattle
we did skip over Seattle.
Bad. I apologize. Seattle at 5. They rolling with Geno one more year. They rolling with Geno one more year, or like what?
I saw this fascinating conversation about the quarterback market, and Geno falls in this, in my opinion. Guys like Geno Smith and Daniel Jones could end up absolutely wrecking the quarterback market because let's be real, these dudes aren't franchise quarterbacks. But if I'm their agent, maybe Geno, you could say, well, we ain't gonna pay you the franchise. But Daniel Jones will say, what? We just went to the playoffs and won a damn game. Yeah. Would you want to pay me $20 million? Get out of here. Good luck. But the team is like, well, yeah, bro. We don't think you a franchise quarterback.
But if you Eugene, right? You just threw for 4,000. We went to the playoffs. We got smoking. We got that, but we went to the playoffs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not like, you have this offensive situation that's carrying a quarterback or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or you have this offense that's carrying me. I mean, he has wide receivers in the run game for sure. But Geno did his thing this year. He
did, bro. But I what would you do? I would draft a quarterback if
I'm moving the fuck on from Geno. I'm not believing in Eugene. You kidding me? But let's keep moving though. We're not doing nothing else. Yeah. This could be a good year for the Texans because they also got to pick at 12. I just noticed that. So the Eagles not going to be drafting quarterback. Shouts out to them. You might have to live with Tannehill, man. So something else we got to talk about too, though, Will, is where Derek Carr. Where does Derek Carr land in all this?
That's true, because that would change the course. Not even just Derek. I mean, Aaron Rodgers probably gets thrown in this. Tom Brady, if he wants to come back. Other quarterbacks that may potentially be on the market here.
Yeah, we got a lot of conversation to have between now and April. So Tennessee at 11. Houston gets their pick from Cleveland at 12. Speaking of quarterbacks, what you think about old boy from what's the name?
Old massage boy.
Yeah, old boy, wipe me down. What you wipe me down is crazy. What you think going on with that situation over there, man? You think they gonna roll with him? I mean, they gotta
roll with him. Number one. He did not look good though in his return. So maybe he'll have a full off season and. Find a quality massage therapist in Cleveland, and
some dude just to be safe, yeah. But shit, I don't know, man. That shit too. Gotta be careful, that motherfucker. Hey, man, that motherfucker. I never thought I would live in this world where I would look at Deshaun Watson and like the Riddler from Batman or whatever. I never thought I would think of them as the same voice. Like, you want to come give me a massage?
Sean Watson.
I never thought I'd think of Deshaun Watson like that,
Mr.
man.
Massage, man. Do you mind? I got something in my groin area. Sir.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Oh, shit.
Where's it hurt? Boy,
Only right here.
Yeah, no.
But they said you had a calf strain. No, my calf is fine. Here.
The calf in my other leg area. The calf of my thigh. Jameis Winston. This the calf
my calf. My thigh. No, not that calf, but my thigh calf. That was hurt. Who said that? Jameis.
He said, what did he say? He said something.
Jameis said, look, man, this your elbow, but your elbow for your leg is your knee, right? some shit like that. What is?
I hurt the knee of my throat.
Knee of my throat.
That's why I gotta. What?
So Deshaun Watson's growing leg. The calf of his waist was the one that was hurt.
But no, they gonna give him. You gotta give him a year, like a full year. Damn, not a full massage, but a full year.
That boy looked terrible, man. Also, while you massaging my hip calf, I like to have cameras just to make sure. I like to record.
Sir, why
turn the lights off?
I got blinky light over there.
Night vision cameras is what I got. You gotta cut these lights out. All right, y'all. Let's please get focused and not get canceled, please.
My bad.
Colin Cowherd watching this like, man, what is going on? How we get here?
Is this what these Bob Koozies do on this channel?
Will still you digging? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
So the Jets, the they're probably out of the quarterback market. But like we said earlier, though, we don't know where Levis and Richardson will land. And besides that, I mean, Hendon Hooker is one of those. I'm a good college quarterback guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did well. Tennessee tore his ACL or whatever. So he'll go late. Stanford got a guy. BYU got a guy. But I don't foresee any of those dudes really like making noise in the first round. First round is all about 3 and a possible, with Anthony Richardson being your possible. You know what I'm saying?
The Jets is the Aaron Rodgers name that keeps popping up. I just can't see A-Rod wanting to go to New York.
Yeah. The Patriots got the dude from Mad TV. Mac Jones looked just like that motherfucker. At 14th overall, Green Bay at 15. They got not Drew Lock. Jordan Love. They got Jordan Love. Appreciate you. The Washington Football Wizards would love a quarterback, but it's a lot of quarterback needy teams, man. When this shit happen, bro? I feel like last year there was only like 5 or 6 teams that needed quarterback. I feel like most of these teams.
It is more. It's always a lot of quarterback needy teams, but we're now going beyond top 10.
Yeah.
Once you get out of top 10, you got these Washingtons of the worlds and the New Englands that look. Mac Jones ain't the guy, but are they going to draft a guy? Probably not. Not at that spot.
No.
Tampa. They're gonna need a Q.
Yeah, for sure. But look, man, the rest of Tankathon, man, I don't see none of this being quarterback territory unless it's Anthony Richardson, right? So the first few guys can go on the top. Anthony Richardson can fall to any of these guys. Does Baltimore sign Lamar Jackson and he's a guy? Because the more this shit go on, the more it feels like a real thing,
And that's a whole. Where's your cat that does the Baltimore stuff, man? What is going on with that?
Coach Evans said the tally, man. That seems to be a lot of nonsense, bro.
That is crazy. How do you not? That's crazy, dog.
Moving on. Minnesota, they're probably gonna live with Kirk Cousins. Jacksonville is fine. The New York Giants about to write that check for Daniel Jones, and I just can't wait, boy. I just got so much excitement in my heart for the idea that the Giants fans think that Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. I just love the
Vanilla
notion.
Vic.
Oh goodness, Vanilla Vic. That's what
they call him.
They better not. They better not call him off for that. And one last thing that's not really draft related, and Tankathon has been updated, so the Saints are at the 30th overall pick.
Damn, they fast.
Yeah, they be moving. So, Will, one last thing that I want to ask you, because I've been wanting to talk about this since the Cowboy game, but you can't talk about the fucking 49ers and the Cowboys playing them. What you think the 49ers do at quarterback? Because the 49ers as an organization, they always seem to draft high but roll with the dudes that they get late. Like they'll draft Trey Sermon in the second round, but they'll end up rolling with, everybody else but him. You know what I mean? So Trey Lance is a guy that when he was playing, I mean, the offense just didn't look that great when he was playing. Garoppolo is a guy that they have faith in. We know who Jimmy is, but then, you get Brock Purdy, who's a rookie.
Well, that's the other dude. Garoppolo's a free agent.
Garoppolo's a free agent?
Yep.
Oh, somebody going to spend money on Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's going to be funny in a bit. But whatever, though. So basically, thank you for that. So it's basically Trey Lance versus Brock Purdy. Now, Will, still, do you go with
wild card Tom Brady?
That's the thing?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be a free agent if he wants to play.
He'll be a free agent for sure.
Right? He's San Fran. He grew up a San Fran fan. He's from that area. I think that's a terrible option for him.
So, chat, let me ask y'all this. Let me actually pull up I'm going to make a poll real fast. So, chat, what I would like to ask y'all, let's just engage with y'all for a minute. Who should, and this is important for a draft, by the way, Will Steele, who should the 49ers start in 2023? And I'm going to tell you why this is draft relevant, and this should make for an interesting conversation. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and give this talking point before I hit send on this, because this talking point could change people's mind. I'll just start off by asking Will Steele. Will Steele, who would you rather start? The talent that you traded picks to get, Trey Lance, or do you roll with the dude that's hot that you have in Brock Purdy? Who would you roll with?
Tom Brady.
Okay, let's just say that. Okay, let's just say that. Let's say.
I got a theory though. I just
know.
never got a chance to expound on it. I have something behind that.
Give me your theory. Go ahead, because I got one.
The reason why I would go all in for Tom Brady is because that is a short-term answer and gives you a short-term fix, while your guy you traded all those picks for, who you got for 5 years, has a chance to actually learn the quarterback position. He didn't play a lot in college. They just took him off of his potential and his pure talents. But he can actually learn behind the Tom Brady, in my opinion, and then you can see what you got moving forward without messing up your chance to win a bowl right now. Brock Purdy tore his UCL, brother. He's out for 6 months. So he's going to miss parts of training camp. He's going to miss, you know what I'm saying? That's a guy who probably doesn't get hurt, is probably rolling with Brock Purdy. But, I mean, hell, if you get a Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, you're sitting pretty good.
If you don't get Tom Brady, do you roll with Purdy or Trey Lance?
It got to be Trey until, I mean, Purdy, again, his UCL is torn, so he won't be available until August.
Sure.
Is that I mean, I don't know. Do you think that's enough time for him to get up to speed to start the season?
Let me offer you this, and then I'll hit go on my little polls here, because this is what I thought about.
Okay.
What if you re-sign Garoppolo with intentions to start Purdy, and what if you can get a king's ransom for Trey Lance? What if you can get a bunch of draft picks for Trey Lance, and you just roll with Purdy and Garoppolo continuing to be bridge guy for you?
I would not do that. I wouldn't bring Garoppolo back. I do, again, I keep sounding like a broke record. Tom Brady. I'd rather take Tom Brady over Jimmy G. But I trade a king's ransom for Trey Lance if I don't believe in Trey Lance and I can get me a bridge guy. Sure.
And that's my next question. It's a lot of teams sitting up in this top. Well, just teams that we named, right? There are many teams here. Let me see what side you're on. You're right there. Cool. There are many. Move you over here. There are many teams, Will Steele, that need quarterback. And there's not enough quarterbacks in this draft to go around. If I'm San Francisco, I'm gonna get one of these characters on the phone. Let me pull up Tankathon here. I'm trying to get let's see. I'm gonna get the Washington team on the phone sitting at 6'10", right? I'm gonna be like, yo, Washington, man, look, bro, y'all not trying to roll them dudes out there, man. Listen, man, let me offer you Trey Lance. Help me help you. You ain't got to draft one of these guys, right? Pretend Trey Lance is a rookie for you, right? Give me all these picks and I'll send you Trey Lance. All these teams in the middle, right? This Jets at 13, you know what I mean? Tennessee at 11, you know what I mean? Possibly Carolina at 9. I don't think they roll with Corral or whatever. I don't think Pittsburgh really secure at quarterback or whatever. Just moving, just think about, you know what I mean?
Sounds like
if I'm San Francisco, I'm calling one of them teams, be like, hey man, how much is it gonna cost? You know what I mean, to send you my quarterback and for me to get some picks back from you. What you think? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying when I pick up the phone. I'm trying to get a ransom for Trey Lance. I can use Jimmy as my we'll wait till Purdy gets healed guy, and I just roll with Purdy because you prove that you can win with Purdy.
I'm greedy. Screw all them teams. I'm coming to the top 10.
I'm greedy with. Okay,
I'm calling teams in the top 10.
Oh yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I said Washington at 16 to be modest and fair. If I can get to Arizona, not Arizona. If I can get to Indy or something, right? Yo, Indy, give me 4th overall. I give you Trey Lance. This way you had to draft him anyway.
I'm starting there and seeing if I can work my way down. I mean, get a King's Rams for Trey. Look, man. Trey Lance is super inexperienced. He hadn't shown you much to say this dude is going to be good. He hasn't shown you much to say he's not. He's just kind of been around, right? He got drafted, I think, extremely early for a guy that don't got a lot of film out of North Dakota State and didn't play much over the last 2 years, injuries and whatnot. But it is what it is, man. You know, so if you can get a King's Rams for a guy that you don't believe in, you absolutely pull that trigger. But if they believe in him, then now you stick with him.
Yeah. Whew, that's fun. At the volume, how about trading Purdy instead of Lance? Well, so this is my thing. I don't think people are going to give you multiple first-round picks for Purdy. Yeah, I think you can get a ransom for Lance though. That's the reason.
Yeah, you can't go back on draft pedigree with Purdy and say, well, we drafted Lance in the top 10. He's still a top 10 talent, right? Like you can sell top 10 talent.
You can't
sell
draft
Mr.
a
Irrelevant.
motherfucker that got drafted last. You know what I mean? Oh, we drafted him last. Give me 3 first round picks.
Yet, maybe in 2 years, because Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round, but after his 3rd year, he won 2 Super Bowls. So
For sure.
if you wanted to trade him, then
Just to run down some situational player stuff. I'm not gonna spend a long time on this because, like I said, the more we watch film, the more we're gonna grow together as a draft community. 4 quarterbacks that can go in the first round, that'll be fun. The one name that could be that could throw a monkey wrench in all this thing at running back is Bijan Robinson. I don't think a lot of teams are considering running back in the first round because they've seen what you can do with a running back in the 3rd round. You can win with those, but Bijan Robinson is a dude. Oh, Will Steele, that dude is a dude. That dude is a bona fide dude.
okay, he's a dude. But let me ask you this: is he a generational back?
Somebody may call him that.
Wow.
I'm stingy on generational back.
I know
because
I did it on purpose because you don't like the generational word. And
I'm stingy. I'm stingy. There needs to be a whole generation of somebody not like you in order, what I'm saying, for me to call you generational. But somebody will look at him and consider him to be, oh, well, he's in that prime Zeke, prime Saquon, prime Jonathan Taylor mode. I can take this dude and win some games with him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bijan, a dude, Will Steele. He will be a top 5 fantasy pick year 1. Wherever he go.
He's a running back. So
Bijan Robinson, running back Texas, yeah.
So you do put him in the Saquon tier coming out of Penn State.
He's Penn State Saquon.
Oh.
He's Ohio State Zeke. You know what I'm saying? He's
honestly, I could see the Ohio State. I never thought Zeke was a generational running back. I didn't think Zeke was like that. Zeke, he remind me more of Zeke. Saquon coming out of Penn State though, that's a different cat.
Saquon's motherfucker. Now listen, he's not like Oklahoma Adrian Peterson.
No, that's generational.
You know what I mean?
That's generational.
That motherfucker. I ain't seen another one of them in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Now
that's a grown man, dog. Like he was, he was a grown man. He could, like real rap. AP could have came to the league right out of high school.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
But man, Bijan is a motherfucker, man, and somebody's gonna take him. I don't think anybody's gonna take him top 5 just because of the reputation that drafting running backs high have gotten you recently. But I think he's a dude that's gonna go first round. Somebody gonna take him. Somebody definitely take him first round. But he's gonna be the guy that's sitting around there. The wide receiver talk is gonna get interesting because there are no Jamar Chase guys here, like there are no Justin Jefferson guys here, but there are some good to great like complimentary type dudes. You can get a wide receiver 2 in this draft. So will Quentin Johnston, TCU, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Ohio State, will those guys be a top 10 pick for you? I don't think a team's going to spend a top 10 pick on those guys, but I think they'll start coming off the board around 15 or so. Dudes like Jalen Hyatt's going to be a guy that's probably going to be in the teens and the 20s or something like that. He's a long speed kind of guy. He's 6 foot, but he looks longer than that. He's a Will Fuller kind of guy. They're all yak guys in their own right, but Will Steele, let me just ask you a question, sir. Let me ask you a question. There's this character, this wide receiver called Kayshon Boutte. A lot of people call him Booty from LSU. Character issues, off the field issues. People say he may not like football. People say he has problem with coaches. People say that when there was a coaching change at LSU, he kind of tapped out a little bit. He kind of checked out. Coach didn't really want to get him involved in the offensive game plan. There's an offensive scandal where he had an orgy with him, a coach, and 3 other dudes in the recruiting department with some lady in the other recruiting situation. You know what I mean?
This ain't
there was
LSU
no
situation.
That's the LSU situation.
Oh, okay.
Like there was no consent issues. There was no physical altercation, nothing like that. They just had a good fucking time, but it was inappropriate as fuck, right? All those things are lingering over this guy. But what if I told you that he's the best receiver in this draft, and without those off the field issues, he'll be a top 5 or so pick? But you can get the motherfucker in the second round somewhere.
Call me PTSD. Call it what you want. Not this team. We do not have good history with that lately.
So, Will, was you saying it about Pickens last year from Georgia?
I was going to ask you, is this a Pickens situation? But this sounds much worse than Pickens.
it's a Pickens type situation, but him and Pickens kind of had that, get along with coaches diva thing, right? But when those dudes are on, they're the best wide receivers in the draft. In my personal opinion, when them dudes are on, they're the best wide receivers in the draft. Like they have limited film.
But you're talking about off field. So when I did my homework on Pickens, I came away like, oh, this ain't, what the hell is everybody talking about? Like it wasn't that serious to me. So I'm biased. I only know about Pickens off-field situation in depthly. I don't know this Boutie's off-field. What you just said, bro, you just made Boutie to sound really bad. You would literally push me away from him off of what you just told me. I don't want nothing to do with that character.
Well, he had some problems with Brian Kelly.
I don't love football. I don't respect coaches. I'm menage a trois, with the coaches.
It was more than 3 wheels. It was more than 3. It was 6 wheels. It wasn't menage a trois. It was 6 people.
In the pro, I mean with the recruit people. So you probably gonna make some. You ain't got no problem doing something crazy, doing something strange for a piece of change, as a young buck. I don't know. What else you say?
Just a lot of little bullshit.
He had to get transferred to or something.
Yeah. No. He didn't. Well, he didn't get transferred. He didn't.
He a rapper too. Is he boss man booty?
Boss man booty is nasty behavior.
Stop the cap.
Boss man booty is nasty behavior. Boss man booty is sick.
I don't want to deal with no boss man booty situation, man. George Pickens. When I looked at George Pickens, I was like, what everybody talking about? Oh,
that motherfucker good though, Will Steele. And I see a lot of people in the chat right now that are saying Boutie's he's not that guy, that he's not that good. And I made a tweet the other day. I said that we're gonna have the same problems with Keyshawn Boutte. I don't want to call him Boutte, so I'm just gonna call him Boutte. The same problems with him that we had with evaluating Pickens. We don't have all the information off the field. Plus,
I gotta do more homework.
If you look at his most recent games, I mean, Pickens was one of those dudes where the film that we had, he may only have 3 catches in a game, but you got to find those 3 catches, Will Steele, and based on those 3 catches, that motherfucker phenomenal.
Let me just say that.
And then you got to go ahead.
If he loves the game of football and will put in the work, the rest of the stuff you can kind of try to figure out, right? Yeah. But when you said don't love football.
Keep him away from the women's staff. You know what I mean? Keep him away from them.
Keep him away from
but Will, when he's on,
yeah.
But when he's on, I think he's better than Addison. I think he's better than Jackson Smith and Jig. But I got to find an acronym for him. I think he's better than Quentin Johnson when he's on. We just don't know if he's gonna be on by the time we get to September.
That's a risk, man. That's a major risk. Gotta do some more homework. Listen, run this back after I do homework on the cat, and maybe I'll feel differently. But right now, after what you told me, I'm good. You said I could find a quality guys, in this draft. I'll find me quality guys. Go get me quality guys, and I don't got to deal with that headache. Dallas just hasn't done well. You know what I'm saying with this situation. So.
Yeah, you can. Hey, man, you can find quality guys, man. But this is a motherfucker. Keyshawn Boutte is and look, that can mean a lot of things depending on what young lady we talking about. But hey, Keyshawn,
damn.
Keyshawn, oh no, we getting fired, man. We just got this job on the volume. To go back to the poll real fast on the volume side, out of 121 votes, Purdy got 52%. Lance got 48% on the question of who should start for the 49ers in 2023. So that's split down the middle damn near. And on the Voch Lombardi side, with 212 votes, Purdy gets 56% and Lance gets 44%. So I guess, hey, if you're going to start Purdy, then somebody will pay that ransom for Trey Lance. Anyway, let's get back into some of these players.
Ask you this.
Go ahead, sir.
Boss man Boutte or Pickens?
They similar.
Are they?
They similar. We gonna watch some film, Wilson.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, you got put me on.
I got you, dog. I got you. And we'll revisit this next week because we got a lot of shit to talk about this week. We'll revisit it. This is not a huge tight end class, but there's this dude from Notre Dame, Michael Mayer. He may be a guy, or Mayer. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just seen it on paper.
Yeah,
he may be a guy that'll go first round. But besides that, you're gonna get from tight end what you normally get. but a solid tight end class though. Offensive lineman is where it gets interesting because we have our Northwestern guy, Peter Skoronski. We have Paris Johnson Jr. and Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State and Broderick Jones from Georgia. Either one of those guys, some people like Broderick Jones a lot more than the other two, but this would be another year where you have many offensive tackles and it's going to come down to preference basically. So we'll see. We'll see. And you have a couple of other offensive tackles that are going to be solid, but trust me, when I watch the film, I'll come back and let y'all know who's going to be worth time out. Okay. It's funny because at the top of the O-line board, and I actually wrote this down in my notes there, and on here, Osiris Torrance, the guard from Florida, I actually thought he wasn't that good because the first dude that I saw him go up against was Jalen Carter, and Jalen Carter beat the shit out of him and his homies. But Osiris is supposed to be the top interior guy, so there we go. We'll see. It's a lot of defense in this class, Will Steele, but Jalen Carter is going to be the top guy. Clemson got another one of them D lineman groups to where, hey, we got multiple guys on our D line or whatever, but with Will Anderson being the top edge allegedly, I still got film to watch. But Miles Murphy is the edge from Clemson. He's a guy that could be going high, and Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech is another edge that could go high. We're gonna have all this conversation for y'all later. What you got, Will Steele?
No, finish your draft talk. I want to get back to this coaching stuff because Ian Rappaport and Schefter on a insider off, and it's hilarious.
Oh God, the sources say
they're on the source off, and it's hilarious.
Someone close to the situation says, "All right, bro. Not a good year for linebackers. A fantastic year for corners, Will Steele. So if you're a team, you know our beloved Cowboys are. Yeah. But if you're a team that's looking for cornerback help, I'll say it's about. And somebody in the chat, let me know if y'all feel me. Professor O, you're one of my guys that I go to. It's about 10 or so corners in the first, second, and third rounds that you probably feel good about. It's a lot of dudes this year, Will Steele. But like I said, we'll just cross those roads when we get there. And safety. I hate safety, so y'all probably won't hear me say nothing about safeties unless I see somebody that really stands out. Go ahead, Will. Still tell me what's going on with the coaching situation.
So I'm scrolling on Twitter trying to stay updated, right? And Ian Rappaport, unbelievable. The Broncos spent today trying to hire DeMeco Ryans again today before he recommitted to the Texans, sources say. When he agreed to terms with the Texans, they moved and finalized Sean Payton. And right below that, Adam Schefter. Timing of today's two hires was completely coincidental. Broncos were zeroed in on Sean Payton and didn't make any contact with DeMeco Ryans or his agent. Denver was focused on Payton and Houston on Ryans. Like,
that's dirty macking, bro.
Shefty deep, bro. Shefty came back and said, "Motherfucker, you lying." Like
somebody lying.
Somebody lying.
Yo, hold on, time about Wilson. Let me see my face. Hold on, I gotta go find my face. Okay, here we go. Look, Wilson Schefter went. Now y'all go over there believing that shit if you want to, man. Right. Anyway, this shit was a coincidence, dog. It wasn't, but now you got to go find Schefter and see what he says about what Ian just said. So now we got to see what, you know what I mean? We got to go see.
I wonder if they real life enemies.
It'll be more fun if they were.
Oh, I would see if Celebrity Death Match was still a thing. 100% Ian Rappaport versus Adam Schefter would be on there.
Oh, Will Steele. There'll be lawsuits about, you use my likeness and you use violence with my likeness. You know that you can't have fun.
When times were simpler.
We got 10 people on the phone.
The conference has been locked.
Now listen, this is the first time that we've run phones for draft season 2023.
Calling each other fake news.
That's funny. So listen, for everybody on the phone right now, let's keep it draft. Let's keep it 32 team centric, relatively. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about Sean Payton today, but don't call and ask me, yo, Voch, what you think we gonna do with Carlos Watkins and shit? You know what I mean? Like, this ain't Cowboy Day. Cowboy days are Mondays and Wednesdays. What's the day? Tuesday? Cowboy days are Mondays and Wednesdays. Draft days are Tuesday and Thursdays. So look, this y'all show, and y'all can talk about whatever you want to, but I would love it if you had a draft question, even if it's a Cowboy question. I would love it if you guys had a draft question when you called in. Let's see how this works. Also, it's 4:10, so let's see what y'all got to say. Let's start with Nick Gasher, we haven't heard from him in a minute. Nick Gasher is a Broncos fan. The Broncos just sent pics to Sean Payton.
Hey, here we go.
I would love to hear what old Nick got to say. What's up, Nick?
What's going on, Bob? Just a new day.
So you like 19 now?
Yes, it is.
Yes. I'm actually, I be living in Missouri now. I be living in Missouri at college.
God damn, Nick Gash has come a long way. Nick, Nick used to call on my show when he was like 16 with his big binder and of draft content. He'll call in and be a better draft dude than a lot of grown people. Now he's 19, so it's less impressive. But when he was 16, it was really impressive when he was doing it.
I think I remember this, Bob Cousy.
This Bob Cousy. Appreciate you, Nick Gash. What you got for the show, brother?
So my team, I mean, we know what happens, so we don't got to talk about it. But I've been on the draft grind. I got 126 players graded here. We're not going to go through all
126 already, Nick Gash? Come on, man.
How do you work? How do you get your schoolwork done, bro? You got the recruiter doing the work.
You got Go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead, Nick.
Anywho, so
I've
been looking at it. We got the 29th pick or whatever. And I was kind of against trading picks for Sean Payton, right? Because I don't like trading picks because I like my picks. But I look at it and I'm like, there's really no one that I want to draft in 29. So let's give up these picks and let's go get Sean Payton. And that's exactly what we did. And I'm really happy about it.
But Nick, are you really in place to be like? But listen, though, Nick, are the Broncos really in place to go fuck them picks? Like, you don't think the Broncos can get better anywhere?
I think we can get a lot better, but I think we can get better through free agency. I think we can cut a couple guys, trade a couple guys, get some cap space up, and then go sign some dudes.
I'm with you, Nick.
They can give us a better chance.
Okay, Nick, go ahead. Yeah, I feel you. Go ahead.
But I mean, that's just how I am with the Broncos. I don't want to spend too much time on that.
Sure.
These quarterbacks are really interesting this year. Bryce Young, and I know you're not big on Bryce Young right now, but he gives me Joe Burrow vibes if Joe Burrow was 5'8".
Okay, but I'll listen to you though. Go ahead.
And he's my QB1. He's my number one player in the draft.
Okay, so cool, Nick. How about this? Though, Nick? Okay, so cool. Look, watch this. You got 100 and how many players done already? How about I ask you some questions, Nick Gash? How about we do this?
Man, that's impressive.
So Nick, what do you think about Anthony Richardson? How polarizing is he, and where do you think he falls in the draft?
Right, so I kind of sat here with these high upside guys like Anthony Richardson and these Will Levises of the world.
Sure.
And I looked at my history. I was in love with Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson didn't pan out. I was in love with I wasn't in love with Josh Allen and he panned out, and I wasn't in love with Justin Herbert and he panned out. Right. But I was also in love with guys like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and they also didn't pan out. So I look at the general history of these high upside.
Well, you've been missing.
I'm like, man,
yeah.
Man, all these guys are misses. So I am extremely this year careful about these high upside guys. I got Anthony Richardson 16th on my board. That being said, I think Richardson is more than just a high upside guy. I think he's got a lot of things put together that a lot of people don't realize. I think he's a lot better mentally than a lot of people realize. He's obviously a hell of a runner.
That's true.
Got a cannon of an arm. If you can just correct a little bit to his game, I think he can be that Josh Allen. I think he's more of a Josh Allen type of player than Levis is, quite honestly.
Because of the mobility, right?
Because of the mobility, right? And not to say Levis isn't mobile. I think he's mobile. I just view Levis, if he's going to be anything, is more of a Carson Wentz at his second best level. Because I don't think Will Levis is ever going to be up to Carson Wentz. MVP season and whatnot.
Who are your top 5 receivers, and where do you have Keyshawn Boutte ranked?
Right. So wide receiver 1 is going to be QJ Quentin Johnston.
TCU.
So I've more transcended into the Instagram scouting community, and the Instagram scouting community is not big on Quentin Johnston. I don't know why, but I think he's good. 6'4", 215, excellent athlete, great ability to get those yards after catch. And they don't like him because he's a little bit of a body catcher, but we can fix that. We can work with that.
Thing about him though, Nick, hold on. Think about Johnson though. About Johnson though, TCU is he's big, but he plays like he wants to be a little dude. Right, he plays big in the air. He plays big when the ball is in his hand. But I actually wrote this down with Nick when I was watching film. I was like, Quentin Johnston versus Michigan. Boy, they got his ass on the line of scrimmage and he will not get off. Damn, Michigan. But then I kept watching. I'm like, oh, never mind. Kansas did this shit too. Then I kept watching. Oh, never mind. Kansas State did this too. So in my mind, he's 6'4", 215, 220 or so, but he's not physical enough to get off the line of scrimmage. Do you think that's going to be a problem for him?
I think it could. I think that QJ is probably the biggest like boomer bust dude in this wide receiver class right now, with the exception of maybe Butte, barring personal whatnot. I won't get to him.
Wide receiver too.
But I mean, I think the talent still speaks for itself. I watched him preseason and I really liked him.
Sure.
And I watched him in the midseason and I really liked him. And I watched his tape for a formal evaluation. And I really liked him all the way through. So I think he's a guy. I think his grade might lower because it's January. We have 3 more months to get through this.
Right.
But for now, he's my wide receiver 1 by a narrow margin against Jordan Addison, who I think is Devontae Smith reincarnated.
I think he's a little more of a yak guy, but sure. I don't hate that. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We'll go with that. I mean, outside of that, I don't really have anything on Addison. He's just athletic, quick.
Yeah.
I think my biggest weakness with him is his size, and he likes to dance at the line of scrimmage. So, you were talking about how Quinn Johnson gets pressed up.
Right.
Jordan Addison doesn't get pressed up, but he kind of sits there and
presses himself.
Things with his feet, but doesn't really get into his route.
Presses himself. False steps. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got wide receiver 3, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I just call him Jason. I know you're looking for an acronym for him.
Right.
He's all right. I think he was my wide receiver.
So listen. Watch this though, Nick. If he's all right, why is he your wide receiver 3? Because I say the same thing, right? When I watch him, when I watch Jackson Smith, and I'm calling him motherfucker Jackson. When I call him Jackson, right? I know that he's good. I know that he can play, but I don't know how he's good or how he can play. I know he runs fast, but he's not the fastest dude in this draft. I know he's taller than Addison because he's 6'1", but he don't look big, right? And I'm just trying to figure out what he does by himself, because that's one way that I grade wide receivers, right? Like, what do you do by yourself and how much of it do you do? So when I look at Jackson Smith and Jigba, I go, damn, man, a lot of this looks manufactured for you or CJ Stroud carrying you, right? Like, how much of this are you doing by yourself? Is this just hype from his 2021 season? Like, give me some more on Jackson Smith and Jigba, and not just saying, oh, he good, but I don't get it. Because a couple people have said this.
Right. I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I watched Jackson.
So why the fuck is he 3? Quit being a coward. Quit being a coward. Why is he 3? Why is he 3rd on your list and you don't know why he's good? Come on, guys.
He's not as fast as Jordan Addison. He doesn't have the yak ability that Quinn Johnson does. And he had a hamstring injury that he didn't get over for the entire season.
He can play, though. That motherfucker can play.
He can play, though. I think he'll be a fine flop. I don't think he's going to be as good as those guys like Quinn Johnson or Jordan Addison could be.
Okay, cool. Quickly, wide receiver 4 and 5. Go ahead.
Zay Flowers is wide receiver 4.
I love Zay Flowers. Slide guy.
Xavier Hutchinson is wide receiver 5. Butte is 6.
I haven't seen Hudson. What school is that? Iowa State. My bad. That's Iowa State. Okay, cool, Nick Gash. One more thing before I hang up on you, because you have been taking up my lines.
No, I know.
No, it's cool. Is Will Anderson the best player in this draft? Why not? And why is Jalen Carter better than him? Go.
So Will Anderson is not the best player in this draft.
Okay.
He reminds me a lot of Kayvon Thibodeau. Like, he can make a big impact occasionally, but he doesn't really use his hands that much. He's undersized, and I think Bama misplays him. They play him out of like a 3-tech and 4-tech at times.
They do that a lot. I hate that.
He should be playing 5-9 tech.
Yeah.
And I think he can make it certainly a good impact. I just don't think he's that transcendent edge that a guy like a Myles Garrett or an Aiden Hutchinson is. And people are talking about, oh my God, this guy's going to be the next great edge rusher. I think, and they talk about him like that. I don't see it.
Right.
I think the gap between him and Myles Murphy is a lot closer than the gap between him and Jalen Carter.
Haven't seen Myles Murphy. But my whole
Carter is my best defensive player on the board, by the way.
He's the best player in the fucking draft, nigga. So my whole thing about Will Anderson, and look, I like the player. I'm not willing to say that he's Thibodeau, because Thibodeau was a lot more raw to me. But Will Anderson is just a very steady, good player, though. Like, he's a steady, good dude. Right. But but just when I think of first overall, like, I just think of something different. And then when I watch Jalen Carter, I go, okay, that motherfucker's definitely what I think of when I think first overall. But Will Anderson is very good versus the running game. Will Anderson gets you sacks. He gets you 16 sacks. Many of them come off stunts and gap exchanges. He's not the most explosive guy in the world. I wouldn't call him super bursty, but he does have quickness. They play him at 3-tech a bunch. He's not big enough to play 3-tech for a lot of times, but the motherfucker looks strong enough to play 3-tech when he playing 3-tech sometimes, but sometimes when he playing 3-tech, he look too small to be playing 3-tech. But when he's an edge guy, hey, he's solid, but he gets production. He makes things happen. He's a very good player in the run. He's a big effort dude. I love it. But Jalen Carter, better than all these motherfuckers, Nick Gash. He's better than all of them. Tell me about Jalen Carter. I'm hang up on you. Go ahead.
You're talking about at the top of the show, and let me get this and then 3 more things in 10 seconds. I'm out. Jalen Carter, you were talking about who would you prefer, Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter? Who would you prefer, Derek Brown or whatever his name was from 2020,
sure.
or Jalen Carter?
Yeah.
I'll take Jalen Carter. Who would you
Sure.
prefer, Quentin Williams or Jalen Carter? I'll take Jalen Carter.
Yeah. Jalen's
My
that
last
dude.
3 names that I'm going to give you before I get up out of here. Tyree Wilson, he's going to be a Trayvon Walker type dude. Mark my words. Devon Witherspoon, he could be a cornerback 1. Keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Finally, Brian Brise from Clemson. They talk him up. There's always that one guy that everybody talks up. They pick him high in the mock drafts. He falls out of the first round. That's going to be your first round guy that drops out of the box.
Nick Gashford, appreciate you, sir. Are you plugging anything for the people that's listening right now?
I mean, I'll go back in the comments. You can I'll plug my Instagram here real quick. It's the.draftsphere. We're pumping out content on the daily. I'll drop it in the comments right now. But yeah,
what is it? Yeah, drop it in the comments.
Get back on Thursday.
Man, Nick Gash, man.
This
this motherfucker got a brand new name every single time. Appreciate you, man. That's a good call, Nick Gash. That's fantastic. 19 years old.
To be on the spot like that, holy cow.
He been doing that since he was 15, though. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, Nick, the fact that you 15 years old and doing this, go be a YouTube, you be rich the rest of your life. And he was like, I want to play football. I was
about to say, what is he at school for? Because
sports medicine or some shit. he need to be a YouTube and let me carry him is what he need to do. Will Steele,
yeah, I'm about to go find his ass right on. I might be hitting you up for some draft stuff today, Nick. Not today, but for this off season. So good stuff, Nick. That was impressive.
For everybody that's in the chat right now, if this is your first time watching the show, let us know so we can know who the brand new people are, because we got 800 people on the Voch side and 385 on the volume side. So that's about a total of, I can't count, about a total 11, 12, 86. Yep. So, hey man, let me know who new here, 1186, so I can know who's new here and we can, say what's up to y'all and all that. Now, for the rest of y'all on the phone, Nick Gasher is a content guy. Y'all can't talk that long. it is 4:23 and we got to be up out of here in about 20-30 minutes. So everybody else on the phone, let's be brief. Come in, make your point expeditiously. I love y'all to pieces though. You got to understand. Let's get Jared on the phone. We're gonna start with him. What's up, Jared?
Hey, Voch, how's it going?
What's good, my guy? What you got for the show?
Just gotta say, Voch, I think you gotta get prepared for the very real possibility that we as Cowboys fans will be listening to your sad piano again when Bijan Robinson is probably taken number 26 overall.
Think he lasted that long?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead. I'm sad. I'm sad as hell now. I'm sad as hell now. Go ahead.
With the Texas boy, Jerry Jones going to fall in love with him. And if he's there, they're going to be like, that's our dude. That's our next Zeke. And they're going to go for it. And I think we'll all be sad because we don't like running backs in the first round.
So let me say this. Will we be sad? Because right. I don't think we're going to be.
He's a motherfucker,
right?
Like if we have him, he's our starting running back. He's fantastic. He would do great.
Right.
But damn, he's a running back that we drafted.
He's a running back, right?
3 years. We'll love him for 3 years.
Right. Exactly. So I think draft people they but initially I don't think it'll be sad. But come year 3, year 4, when you realize, we got to commit to the dude that we gave 1,500 carries to in 3 years. I don't know if that's smart.
Yep. But go ahead, though, Jared.
Oh, that's all I got, man. I just wanted to provide some comedy for you.
I appreciate you, man. We laugh, man. Good call, brother. Yeah, man. Yo, chat. Don't get me mistaken, man. If we draft Bijan, I'm not gonna be upset. I don't think he makes it to 26 though. But I'm not gonna be upset if we draft him because he's a great player and he will help us and he will bolster your run game for sure. I just know how running backs work in this league. I've seen your movies. I asked the question, Will Steele. You wasn't here. You may have been here. I don't think you was here, but you wasn't here. But if the Cowboys didn't sign Tony and they kept Zeke and they drafted Bijan Robinson, who do you think gets the first carry in 2023?
Zeke,
and that's the problem, Will Steele. Zeke getting that motherfucking carry. That's the problem. So I'm like, man, we might as well not even go down this road, man. I don't even want to go down this road and get my heart broke out.
There's something Jerry Jones and Zeke having this relationship, brother. I don't know what it is, but the minute he said we go as Zeke go, I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm like, we are breaking up. I'm leaving.
What are you doing?
I ain't got time, bro.
Honestly, bro, I would rather get a coordinator who has a run scheme, right? Mm-hmm. That could just plug in a day 2, day 3 running back. I don't need a Zeke. I don't need a Bijan Robinson.
There you go.
Bro, I told you yesterday, the Eagles going to the Super Bowl with Kenneth Gainwell as the best running back in the postseason.
Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round guy. Yeah. Fantastic. But anyway, let's get D Shift on the phone. See what he's talking about. What's up, D Shift?
Hey, what's going on, Voch? I'm just gonna segue off of Scott, man, with the offensive line. I mean, you talking about the Eagles running back, but we do know that offensive line for the Eagles is damn good.
And the scheme, right? That was the whole point. You know,
you got a lot. You got a lot of offensive linemen, but I think we're at that point where we need to go ahead and get the playmaker with Pollard out. So, what are you looking at, Voch? Are you looking at trying to shore up, get a little stronger than Connor McGovern, which this team seems to love him, so I'm a little worried about that? Or do we just go ahead and, like, I mean, we scoff at B.J. Robinson, but with a team that's kind of desperate for playmakers, like I get it how I live, man. And if that's the best available playmaker, well, you know, just as it seems, you know, because I mean, we only need these people for 2, 3, 4 years, anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because Cowboys, they had this tendency to like get off the guys that, you know, want to do well for you. It seems like to be like the life expectancy for your top guys, anyways. You know?
Well,
are we really tripping about? I mean, and I'm not even trying to go down the running back road. I'm against that. But at the same time, with this team and how they treat second contracts, you know, like you got to be amazing, you know what I'm saying, to even, I don't know, get that second contract. So, I'm kind of looking at like the guy from TCU, your Johnson guy.
Johnson, yeah.
And I also noticed that where we pick in the second round, you got a lot of linemen and receivers lingering around there.
Yeah. So if you asking me, just for my own Cowboys opinion, I'm looking at whatever combination of offensive line and wide receiver that comes first. Left side offensive line, wide receiver. You know what I mean? Of course, like if can't miss prospect is there, you know, like, you know, somebody robbed a bank or something and they made it to 26 or something that we can do, you know, then, you know, we can talk, right? Like the best corner in the draft robbed the old lady and now nobody's drafting him and he's there at 26, then we can talk about it. Or if Bijan is there, I mean, I guess, bro. But if it's like, if you asking me, I'm trying to find the left side player to go with Tyler and I'm trying to find a wide receiver to go with CD.
Okay. And I mean, there's also interior D lines. I like what Hargrave is doing for that Eagles D line. I think that's like really kind of an unsung kind of commodity that people don't really highlight, you know, because Jalen Hurts gets all the credit. He does everything, plays defense too. But also, Voch, like you're from Mississippi, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like y'all don't got no people from Louisiana that come out there
to do what?
Like, well, I'm saying like you seriously saying that man's name's Booty?
Well, his name is Booty, but everybody gonna call him Booty. But in Louisiana,
it's Booty.
I was about to say
that's what it is. That's worse.
Booty.
That's worse. That sounds like sassy booty. That sounds like Booty. Hey, Wilson, that sounds like Booty.
That's like a legit, like.
Boy, you gotta snap your fingers and say that shit, boy. That's Booty.
Like y'all get like Cajun people that go, you know, like French, you know, hard down, like Louisiana that come to Mississippi. Because the fact that like you can't recognize Booty, I was just wondering, man.
I never see it. How is it spelled? How is it spelled?
Boute.
Boutte. It's
Does it have
Boutte.
one of those things over top of it?
No. Ain't nothing. It's just how it is.
Bro, he from Louisiana. That's how
I'm from Natchez. That motherfucker named Keyshawn Booty or Booty. I'm not calling him Booty. But I ain't though, D-Shit. Appreciate you, man.
I meant to ask that earlier. Was there was it a positive, whatever it's called, over top of it? Because ain't no way his name is Booty, dog.
Boutte. And if you just watch this on YouTube, I'm like, latest development coming out of LSU, prospect Keyshawn Booty has been called.
Oh, so B-O-U, I would have definitely said, I probably would have said Boutte.
Like Boutte. Nah, I call that motherfucker Boutte guy.
I call another man, grown man, delicious.
Nah, man.
But I'm saying, seeing how it's spelled is what I'm getting at. I can see.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Right. What's
up?
I'm
listening to the draft. Hey,
the draft.
I think your boy.
Who?
He might be a Cowboy.
Who?
If he don't get drafted in the first few rounds.
My boy.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know him. Okay.
He's gonna be.
Yeah, but go ahead.
He's gonna be the Cowboys like doing that.
Yeah.
That'd be a 4th or 5th round pick for us because we got 10 picks. That's one thing.
He ain't gonna fall that far. But go ahead.
If he, I hope he do. Because I know the Cowboys gonna get him.
Yeah,
so please fall.
Yeah.
And if y'all look at that, I like two decent tackles. I like the guy from I like Big Nasty.
Dallas ain't got no 10 picks, bro.
From Baylor.
They got 9. Yeah, they ain't.
He's like,
I'll get some.
That boy big, and I like Kanye Reeves.
Who?
From Wisconsin.
Oh,
Kanye Reeves, the D tackle, 317, a beast. Cause I bought 96 for the Cowboys. He be getting blown out the ball, man. I don't know what happened to him.
Never got more, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you think about him? Number 96 for the Cowboys.
Osa happened to him.
Yeah. Osa happened. Carlos happened to him. Hank has happened to him. You know, basically.
Yeah, cause he can't penetrate. I'm like, man, they just run right through him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think we'll be good. Cause I think we're a few players away from winning. Now it's like still.
Quickly.
I respect what you're saying.
Quickly.
That's perfect with the running game. We got to have some. Well, our running game wasn't that good because Kellen Moore running game was horrible. Run right up the middle every time. No scheme, no pulling, nothing. And then when he do it, we get big yards. And then the next game, he won't do it.
But draft though,
so yeah, we need a better.
But draft.
We need a better scheme.
Got to draft the offense coordinator.
Draft the offense coordinator. No. Appreciate you, Maul. Appreciate. I've been hearing that name a lot though. They're talking about the Baylor kid, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Siaki Ika, from Baylor, the big kid. Y'all probably seen highlights of him on Twitter somewhere. But he's 6'4". He's about 350. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably going to be like a nose prospect, a nose 0-1 tech type prospect for you. So people are saying, hey, yo, Voch, we need to get him. But the problem is everybody has a favorite player in the first round that every team think they can get. And then when you get to the second round, everybody got a favorite player in the second round that their team thinks that they can get. So if that's the case, then that means your team might not get him. So, but he does exist though. And I heard he's a good player, but I will watch my film and I will come back and give you a report. Go ahead, Will Steele.
No, I was just reading Rye's comment. He's hilarious.
DJ, what's up? All right, here's my opinion.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? I like the way y'all just blew past when Nick Gaston said he had 126 already. You just let that slide real quick. You're like, yeah, so anyway, let me ask you.
Too soon for me, man. My team was winning. I haven't watched them, but by the time we get to April, we will have 250 prospects film watched on patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. Today we watched Jalen Carter.
It made sense when he told me he was a Broncos fan. I'm like, that's right. They was pretty much done in September.
It was losing. They were losing. That mother started early. Yeah.
He's been doing it for a month.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it made me feel bad about my little 5 wide receivers and 4 quarterbacks I've watched up to this point. I came in proud and then just felt bad about it.
It's all good. It's all good. We can talk about it.
But I think after watching because I watched the Big Four, right? I watched Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson, or at least the ones that you were talking about. And I think it's almost locked in from seeing the style of play that Will Levis has played that he's probably going to the Colts with Frank Reich in that system because even Nick mentioned a minute ago how he was comparable. He did a lot of the same things that Carson Wentz did when he came out, and I saw a lot of those similarities as well. I don't like living off of comps, but the play style is very similar and it's hard to ignore. So I think since they got Frank Reich, or they got that system and that owner and all that kind of stuff, that just feels like a perfect match over there. So, and then as far as the wide receivers, I think as far as what I've watched, and Jigba, what you can't figure out, the reason it's hard to see is because I think he's very good at finding space. So it's not necessarily scheme, and it's not necessarily his ability, but he's just seeing open grass and running to it. If you're watching him as he's going, it'll look like a certain concept where he's supposed to go a little deeper or he's supposed to go a little bit further outside, but he just runs to the open space and he's wide open. A lot of it was C.J. Stroud finding him, or unless their coordinator's just that in tune with things, which is a possibility because it's Ohio State. But I think that's the missing part on Njigba, at least while I was watching them.
But see though, DJ, but listen, no, DJ, this is my thing though, right? When I'm watching Jackson Smith and Jigba, let's just say hypothetically, I just accidentally look at Marvin Harrison Jr. I can tell you why that motherfucker good. I can tell you exactly why he good. And then I go back to Jackson Smith and Jigba and I go, he running and he was open and he caught it and he ran again. Like that's, you know what I mean? And yes, there's more nuance to it. Like he's a solid route runner. He got solid hands. He's a solid speed yak guy for sure. I don't know how well he's going to test in the 40 department or whatever, but he can run. I'm just saying, I want to know how much he does on his own. You know, just him being big play, he's running.
That's my thing about it, because he's good all around, right? But he's not exceptional at anything.
Sure.
And when I watch him, and at least what I know from the wide receiver position, when I watch him, he doesn't do anything. Like he's not super explosive, but he's explosive, right? You wouldn't say he's not explosive. He's not super fast, but he's fast. Mm-hmm. His hands aren't fantastic, but they're okay. His route running isn't exceptional, but it's good enough. So there's just that last part where I think he's just good because a lot of people ran zone against Ohio State all year. I think he's just real good at finding open space and catching it with leverage and taking it, maximizing the opportunities and targets that he gets.
Sure. Fair enough. Appreciate you, DJ.
Yes, sir.
Now, Will, still once you start getting into the film, you're gonna watch Jackson Smith and Jigba and go, oh boy, that deep ball, man, he running. And then you go watch Jalen Hyatt from
Tennessee Cat, yo.
And you see him run and you see him shifting gears. Like you see him shifting gears, Will said. You're gonna go, okay, well, that's different than what Jackson Smith was doing. And this ain't me shitting on Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just trying to get clarity on the player, and this is a process.
I want to say I saw that Tennessee Cat against was it Kentucky? I was watching that game. I think that was the game. But yeah, that was one of the first receivers when we wasn't in draft at the time. I'm like, is this dude eligible?
Yeah, right. But Tennessee versus Alabama, man, they lined up out there, man. Well, all right, what's Tennessee gonna do versus Alabama? And Jalen Hyatt went up there and caught 5 of them things, boy. So, hey, man, it's just when we're in draft mode and we're doing these board rankings, we compare people amongst their peers and things like that. So, I just think it's gonna be interesting to hear the conversation about Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I think I'm gonna hear a lot of people try to talk themselves into liking him, as opposed to telling me why you think he's good, and That's just draft season, but we'll see. Let's go, Kev from Michigan. What's up, Kev?
What's going on, Voch? What's
going on,
Sky? How y'all doing?
Yo.
Everything. What you got for the show?
Not too much. Kev from Michigan, being from Michigan and all, I am a Lions fan as well. It was interesting to hear a little bit of your conversation on what we should do at 6.
Sure.
Not taking a quarterback. In my opinion, don't take a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff got you like one of the best seasons we didn't have in the last 5 years. We'll roll with him. We're just gonna keep him because next year we want to win. We want to win now. So there's like a few teams up before us that need a quarterback. There's teams below us that need a quarterback.
Sure.
I say trade down, draft that cornerback out of Oregon, Christian Gonzalez, and get some assets and move on.
I don't hate it because I don't hate it because I think the Lions offense was like fantastic all year. And I think y'all have a lot of pieces on your offense, and all you needed was if y'all would score 35, you would just need your defense to not give up 38. You know what I mean? So if y'all could just like rain that down and you get another year of Hutchinson and McNeil is doing fantastic and all that, I can see a world where Detroit gets better real fast. Listen, whatever happened to old boy? The other kid that was drafted the same year as McNeil, the kid from Washington.
You talking about Okuda?
No, not him. D tackle. Washington kid.
The same year. What year? You say he's from where?
The kid from Washington. D tackle.
Got his name. Tackle from Washington.
You a Lions fan, though?
I'm more of a Cowboys fan, but like, you know what I'm saying?
What?
They drafted a defensive tackle from Washington?
No.
That's what.
Go ahead, though, Ken. I'll find out. Go ahead. I got it. Lions draft. Go ahead, Lions. Go ahead, okay. I'm listening to you.
Oh yeah. So I'm interested to see if you really think that quarterback depth this year in the draft is even
Levi
great.
Levi Onwuzurike. What happened to him? How you doing?
Pretty sure he stayed hurt.
Oh, okay.
If I didn't know him, you couldn't remember him. That's where he's gonna stay.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah, I don't think he played this year.
Fuck that, man. All right, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. What else?
I'm saying about the quarterback depth of the draft this year. So I don't think there's only like three like dudes right in the whole draft for quarterback, and I'm like a little bit shaky on the other one, which is Will Levis. I think it's just C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. That's it. Mm-hmm. Everything else, I'm not drafting nobody in the top 10, top 15, damn near top 20.
Right.
Like Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, good prospect, but reminds me a lot of like what Malik Willis could be. You know what I'm saying? There's just a possibility that's same realm. Not the same player, but that same feeling. Like he's got a lot of potential, but we don't know yet.
Appreciate you, brother. Good call, man. Good call,
Yep.
good call, good call. It is draft season, man. I just appreciate everybody that's being here, man, because, when we make that transition from Cowboy world into draft season, I know there's a lot of non-Cowboy fans that, sub to my channel, and they just wait for the day, like, when's Voch going to start talking that Cowboy shit so we can do draft. So I appreciate y'all for, coming out on draft day. I said this earlier. I will say it again. The Lombardi draft talk days, we're doing things 5 days a week now, 4 really. Back then it'll just be Voch go live whenever Voch go live, but we're going to be specifically talking non-Cowboy draft for everybody, for all 32 teams actually, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So Cowboy talk will be Monday and Wednesday. Lombardi's 32 team draft talk will be Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. We got 2 more callers. Also, too, if y'all want to watch the film with us live, when I watch it, then it's patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. We watch Jalen Carter today. Appreciate y'all. Let's get LA on the phone. See what he's talking about. What's up, LA?
Oh, Lord. Hey, look, man, I was gonna be patient and wait to be the last caller, man. I was all ready for this Cowboy talk, brother.
Oh no, not today. I got you tomorrow.
Yeah,
though.
I know. Yeah, I've been listening faithfully, and man, I'm very proud of you and Sky, man.
Appreciate you, man.
And,
Thank
little
you,
young Broncos, little dude,
Mm-hmm.
they was losing, so Slim
That's why I saw
did
that
his thing, man. I'm very proud to see YouTube growing and the football world growing. I develop quarterbacks out here, man. I develop coaches, and I'm really plugged in with the youth, with the youth infrastructure here, and I got guys who are running programs in different cities, dudes that I played with, man, and I just as a fan of the show and a fan of the game of football and watching it grow, we need more shows like yours, Voch. So I was planning to rant about, I wasn't gonna rant, but I was gonna say how as long as we draft somebody that we can groom to be some kind of really good center, then that's high on the priority. And we need some fat boys in the middle, man. Like, I love the A gap, and we don't have nobody dominant in the A gap. But I'm gonna go ahead, get out the way, man. Just wanted to support the show. Tell y'all, brothers, God love y'all. Everybody love y'all, man. Keep doing y'all thing, man.
Appreciate you, sir. Good call. What you think about that for the Cowboys drafting someone to one day be a center, drafting a developed future swing guy that can be a center one day?
I'm with your thought process. Drafting linemen every draft. But you got a Pro Bowl center right now, so I'm saying out there.
Pro Bowl center, Tyler Biotis.
I like Tyler Biotis. I'm not looking to replace him right now. He stepped up this year. I think he was much better this year. Last year, if it wasn't the other Tyler, I was like, just roll with Tyler Biotis. There was only one other center, in my opinion, to threaten him. Linderbaum, yeah.
I think Tyler has done enough to warrant you not trying to replace him unless you got something special. Like, he's a good center in the league, and I just think you just take that and you live with it. Yep. Last call for the day. Then we're gonna read some supers. We're gonna talk to the chat for like 2 minutes. Then we're gonna wrap this thing up. Appreciate y'all. What's up, Chris?
Yeah, what's up, Voch? What's up, Scott? How we doing?
Cool and play. What you got for the show?
Hey, 2 quick questions. So, Peter Skoronski, I think he's the best offensive lineman in the draft. But there's scouts that think that his arms, Peter Skoronski from
Northwestern. Okay.
There's scouts that don't think that his arms are long enough.
Sure.
Do you think that teams are going to look at him as an interior lineman? And if they do you think that's going to plummet his draft, Scott? Not plummet, but do you think he's going to fall just a little bit in the draft?
Well, I'm no O-line expert or nothing. But short arms only matter if you don't know how to use them in a matter of nuance versus someone that's long armed. So if you think about some of the players that have come out over the last few years, like Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell, both of those dudes didn't have ideal arm length. But if you're nuanced enough, if you're well coached enough, you know how to mitigate that attack from a long arm, edge player. Because that's why length matters. So if Peter Skoronski, and I'll be watching film on him soon because I don't wait too long to get into offensive line talk. We're going to be watching offensive linemen on patreon.com/Voch Lombardi very soon. But the first thing that I'm going to look for is if he does have short arms, I'm going to see how he deals with long arm players. So if I watch Rashawn Slater, the first film I watched on him was Ohio State. Chase Young tried the long arm, and the first thing he did was go for that elbow, right? Go for the elbow, make it bend, make his arm shorter, then reset your block exchange, right? But everybody's not going to be nuanced enough to do that, right? So if Peter Skoronski from Northwestern, also Rashawn Slater, if he's from if he's nuanced enough to know how to deal with long arm D ends, then he'll be fine at tackle. But if not, he's gonna go play guard with the rest of them.
And Quentin Johnson, I think he's the wide receiver number 1 in this draft, but I don't think it's a really strong draft for receivers. Like I look at last year's class, and I think he'd probably be the wide receiver number 5. What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be a very weird year for wide receiver, and I would love to watch more corners, more offensive line. I would love to watch the linebackers and really see how bad they are this year. And by the time I watch all those guys, I'm going to have a pretty good idea of where wide receiver is going to fall this year. I don't know for sure, but I haven't watched enough film to lie to your face on camera just yet. So wait till I have some information. I'll let you know. Okay. But Johnson's a good player though. And I think he can help somebody. I just don't see him being like a Jamar Chase type. He'll be a very good wide receiver 2 type.
Definitely. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you, Chris. Boy, Will Steele, I tell you what, man. I ain't know how this first show was gonna be because it's just hard to do these first shows, I ain't mean to play that shit.
Man, you could tell though, man. I ain't saying you backing your element because you a content king in general, but you in your element, man.
This is where I'm home at. Draft is home for me for sure. Draft is home, man. So yeah, chat. And what makes this hard is so many people have questions, but when you first starting, shit, I watched 10 wide receivers and 2 defensive players. So I'm at 12 prospects right now. The next week I'll be at 20. And the next week I might be at 22 by the next week. You know what I mean? But then the next week I'll be at 50. But I know for damn sure by the time I get to April, we will be ready. You feel me? So hey man, be sure to hit the subscribe button, whether you're on the Voch side or whether you're on the volume side. Be sure to tune in. If you want to drop a little something in the Patreon to watch the full length film sessions, do that. I'll be dropping a Jalen Carter film session at 5:00 on the Voch Lombardi channel. So go find the Voch Lombardi channel, VOCHLOMBARDI, and there will be a about an 8-minute Jalen Carter film session with about 8 plays on there. But on the Patreon, we watch the whole Oregon game, the whole Kentucky and Florida, where he beat the hell out of Osiris. So check us out, man. We do some good work. Salute. Let's read some supers and let's wrap. Let's start with the volume like we always do. We're going to try to be classy. Take care of the volume money. That ain't our show. That ain't our show. Oh, there's our show.
The Bob Cousy show.
But they totally took the draft show away. Let's see what they named this. Let's see. Reaction to Sean Payton trade the Broncos. That's probably why the numbers got so high. Draft order breakdown. Okay, cool. That's cool. Appreciate you, Christian. Appreciate you, Paul. Supers. Bilbo T. Baggins. That is not made up. He dropped a deuce and says, Big 12 schedule just got... No, that's the shit. That's their show. Never mind. I'm about to say, I don't know about Big 12 now. Q-Dog dropped a deuce and says, Tyler Huntley and Carr Pro Bowl quarterbacks. AFC quarterbacks bad. Tyler Huntley and Derek Carr Pro Bowl?
Bro, we didn't bring this up, but this is some nut stuff here, man. Tyler Huntley is an alternate in the Pro Bowl. He has, I think, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Yeah.
And they talk about my quarterback.
It's a joke.
That's why I won't respect that shit no more, man.
Facts.
Scoutcast on Mondays. Me and Jeff Kavanaugh. Scoutcast on Mondays. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. RV Davey dropped a deuce, says Payton has officially signed with the Broncos. Indubitably. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for dropping a deuce, super chat, and letting us know. Appreciate you, RV Davey. And on the Voch Lombardi side, let's go take a look, see what y'all said. Well, I got to hit refresh first because y'all like to update it. So here we go. All right. Today is the 31st. Here we go. ADG Sports dropped a deuce and says Tyree Wilson is better than Will Anderson. Jeff Kavanaugh kind of echoed that a little bit. It's still early in the process, but he said that, he's a little more athletic. He stands out on film more than me. So I'll watch Tyree Wilson, edge player from Texas Tech, to really, get the nuance of it. But that's not the first thing I've heard. And I know that there are a lot of people that are critical of Will Anderson. Actually, while I'm reading supers on this computer, I'm gonna look at the comments on this computer. Chat, where are y'all at with Will Anderson? Like, where do y'all rank him on your big board? Like, is he the best player to y'all, the third best edge, the 5th best defensive player, the 5th best player? Let me know where y'all got Will Anderson ranked. Just so we can all get some consensus on this. It'll never be consensus, but Anime Dolphin dropped a dub and said, appreciate you for dropping a dub, sir. He says, you don't ever pass up on a guy that you can build up an entire defense around, indubitably. Unless you're going quarterback, you shouldn't be taking anyone over Carter. I don't care if you like your D-line or not. He's better than the guy you have. It's real shit. It's real shit, my guy. And to be fair, I don't know if Will Anderson is a guy that you build your whole defense around. I think Will Anderson is like a really good secondary pass rusher for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's a guy that's going to lead your pass rush to the promised land. I could be wrong there, but I think he's a really good. He'll get you double-digit sacks. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see him like a Myles Garrett type, where people are going to talk about him. But Jalen Carter, he got some of the best D tackle tape I've seen since Ndamukong Suh, man. So that's how we feel. Guillotine 06 drop 5. It says goofy trade talk. Would you trade Diggs? But I'll listen to you talk. He says, would you trade Diggs for 2 firsts and a 4th? And Jalen Ramsey? Oh, well, don't get carried away now.
What did he say this compensation again?
Would you trade Diggs for 2 firsts, a 4th, and Jalen Ramsey?
Why are we just saying stuff? It's not possible.
Because he dropped 5 in the super chat and he can say what he wants.
It's not
still emotional about them business decisions. Yeah.
It's literally not possible because the Rams ain't got that unless you're trying to get 2 first-round picks, next year and the following year or something. But come on, man, what are we doing?
Appreciate the super chat though. Charlie Reese dropped 5 and says, I draft Bijan in the first round, even if I had to move up. I ain't giving up picks to get no running back in the first round. You kidding me? Cowboys' best chance to win the Super Bowl on offense was with rookie Zeke. Bijan looks familiar. Well, rookie Zeke had a different O-line to play with.
Oh boy, did he ever.
He had a different O-line, and in the words of Will Steele, he had a different scheme to play with. Linehan got them boys going, so we'll see, my guy. I'm trying to build the house first. I think running back is the ultimate luxury pick. I still got some piece in my house that needs to be fixed. So. But appreciate you though, Charlie.
BD Gray. Would you trade Pollard for 2 firsts and Myles Garrett?
Funny times. That's how I be sounding though, man.
I mean, technically, that's literally what he did. All pro, 2 firsts, 2 firsts. Yeah.
That's funny, man. Mr. Leota dropped a dime and says Nick been doing draft work since week 5. Indeed, sir. So that's probably why he's ahead for sure. My team been winning. I ain't been watching. And Jake Downey dropped the deuce and says, is there a left side player? Pardon me, sir. Is there a left side player you like for Dallas now? Nope, I have not started watching offensive line, but I'm going to start doing that. I think tomorrow is safe. I think it's safe to say tomorrow over on the Patreon, tomorrow and Thursday. Even like a little bit Friday, we'll be watching some of the top tackles and guards in the draft. So and we'll still be watching wide receivers on Patreon. So patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. I've said it a million times, but hey, that's the place to be. Shit, that's the best place to be to get the content. And Guillotine says, LA, not and.
Did he drop a super earlier or something?
Yeah, his super. Okay, so let's read his super as he's correcting me on this. Goofy trade talk. Would you trade Diggs for?
Oh, he's the one who dropped that. Okay.
Yeah. He said, Goofy trade talk. Would you trade Diggs for 2 firsts, a 4th, LA Jalen Ramsey? I don't even know what that means. Guillotine. Just like break that down in the regular chat and don't super because you don't keep sending.
Hypothetically speaking, if the Rams had 2 first-round picks to give you this year, next year, and you get that, a 4th and Jalen, I think most people would say yes to that.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're still going to have a top-tier corner and you get 2 first-rounders and a 4th. I mean, if we want to play that type of hypothetical. Would you take that?
Fuck them picks. Give me, Trey. I'll let you.
Yeah, and but I still keep my top corner. I get a top corner too, right?
Right. So now your corners will be Jalen Ramsey, Deron Bland, and Jordan Lewis.
Plus you have 3 first-round picks now. I'm
definitely drafting Bijan if I got 3 first-round picks. I'm drafting the fuck out the running back. I got 3 first-round picks. You hear me? But yeah, player comp, Gibbs from Alabama versus Pollard. I've been seeing people compare Gibbs to Kamara, but I haven't watched Gibbs. I normally don't watch running backs early, but my team is going to be looking at running backs, so I'll look at them. Chat, do y'all have any questions before we go? Any questions before we go?
The Rams sent the Jags an all-pro back in that trade? I don't remember that.
The Rams sent
because he said it's the same trade that Jalen Ramsey got. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Sean, man, we're gonna wrap up the show.
I don't know.
We're gonna wrap up the show. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on, let's get one in. Everybody new here. We also do this. We got our little fancy quote today. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Marcus Harrison, man. We love him to pieces, man. How about this? Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume.
Sus.
That's me and Will Steele, by the way. That's me and Will Steele. At the volume, great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal. Come on, Will Steele. Come on, Will Steele. 2 fly for the clouds, 2 down for the green grass. UNLV, Lions sleep outside. Negans in Paris. Appreciate you.
I like that.
Appreciate you, Marcus Harrison. Hey, man. Fantastic little first show of draft season, man. It's fun. We got plenty more of it to do. Like I said, we'll be doing this on Tuesday and Thursday. What we'll probably do is we'll find a mock draft to look at and break down Thursday. I didn't think that was my first plan because I hate those, but hey, we're on the volume. You know what I mean? We're trying to mingle and do volume-y things. So I'm gonna find us a little bit of a mock draft, and we're gonna break that down Thursday. All right. But tomorrow on the Voch Lombardi side, we'll be talking about this clip. Well, the Cowboy show for tomorrow, this clip that is surfaced on the internet about Mike McCarthy having a little tiff with Kellen Moore, and that being the reason for the breakup. So that should be fun. Do the Cowboys play the Chargers next year?
Yes, indeed.
You do?
Yep.
Oh, shit, that's on purpose. That shit on purpose, man. They did that shit on purpose, man. All right, man. Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI. My Patreon, where I watch the full film, patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. On my Voch Lombardi YouTube channel, for everybody that's watching on the volume, there is a Jalen Carter film session, so y'all can go over there and check that out, VOCHLOMBARDI. My non-football platform, twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. That's where I do my gaming. We watch nature documentaries. We go over there, we chill, we talk about music and movies. Pretty fun place over there to just get away from football there. That's twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. Hit the buttons on the volume, the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And my co-host, my point guard, Will Steele. Shouts out to him, man. He's turning into a draft guy. You know what I'm saying? He's the best in the business.
Appreciate you, man.
So now he's about to go to his show in the morning with all kind of talking points.
Oh, yeah.
With all kind of information, you know what I'm saying? So in the morning from 8:30 till about 10 o'clock, 10:30 sometimes, that's A to Z Dallas on YouTube. You check him out on Twitter at Skywalker Steele. Skywalker, Steele. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow or Thursday. If you don't fuck with Cowboys, y'all hold down for the dose of the piece of week. Until next time, volume.
Beats Planet.